Winter activities in the Northwest are very popular, and snowshoeing has become one of the fastest growing pastimes around. In the first segment of this show, we head to the Leavenworth, Washington area to learn how to snowshoe with adventure host Sarah Myers. In the second segment of this show, we take a look at a unique survival school for women. The Women in the Wilderness class teaches how to manage outdoor skills to just women students. This is your Northwest Outdoors. Funding of Northwest Outdoors is made possible in part by O'Loughlin Sports Shows. Puyallup, Portland, and the Redmond Sports Shows are proud supporters of public television throughout the Northwest, placing an emphasis on education for the great outdoors. By Kershaw Knives of Portland, Oregon. Makers of precision tools and cutlery, Kershaw Knives continues to support outdoor programming and outdoor activities throughout the Pacific Northwest. And by Northwest Dock Systems of Eatonville, Washington. Manufacturers of Herb's pontoon boats, Northwest Dock Systems supports safe and environmentally responsible enjoyment of the outdoors. We begin the show in the middle of the Wenatchee National Forest, near the town of Leavenworth, Washington. During the winter months in this part of the country, snow recreation is very popular. With nearly 600,000 acres to play on, snowshoeing has become a great way to get in shape and get close to nature. This sport has recently seen a revival in popularity, which has brought along a new breed of equipment, making it easy for the whole family. Northwest Outdoors adventure host Sarah Myers recently went out with some friends to do a little snowshoeing.
Today we're here with Aaron Wiener of Olympic Outdoor Center, and we're snowshoeing up in Lake Wenatchee area. Aaron, if you could talk to us a little bit about the equipment that we're using.
Sure. Today's equipment is extremely lightweight and really easy to use. This particular model has an aluminum frame, which is really lightweight, has straps so you can adjust to any kind of boot size. They come in different lengths as well. Maybe if you're carrying a heavy pack or heavy deep snow, a little longer, a little heavier person, maybe something like that.
It'll give you some more flotation to keep up on top of the snow.
Exactly. They even make smaller snowshoes for kids as well.
Show the teeth on the other side.
Crampon teeth for ice.
Aaron, if you could talk to us a little bit about the structure of the shoe and why it's important to have the pivot and the crampons for climbing.
Today's snowshoes have steel crampons in the heel portion and on the forefoot. This allows you to go up steep, icy slopes. It also has a pivot system that moves with your foot, so it's a natural, free-flowing motion. It also allows you to travel at quite high speeds. You can actually run in snowshoes now.
And where do you think snowshoes are going in the future? Do you think they're going to be lighter? Are they going to be more versatile? You think you're going to find people using them more for backcountry or just touring through the area?
Snowshoes in the future are going to be even easier to use than these straps. Some snowshoes already have ratchet buckle systems that you see on snowboard bindings, and even K2 has bindings that will actually just step right in with their K2 clicker system as well.
Wow. And we've got some adjustable poles here that allow you to adjust to a good climbing height. A lot of times if you're going uphill, you'll want to shorten them just a little bit. You don't want them too tall, you don't want them too short. Also, the nice feature about these is they do turn into a probing stick for avalanche conditions. So if you are ever in a search situation, you can adjust these together with a probing stick and go through the snow testing. Poles are good for you to have stability when climbing. They allow you to get some placement, help keep a grip while you're going up a hill. Come on, sweetie. Right up here. When heading into the backcountry, we really need to have a good awareness for avalanche. So we've got some equipment with us today, and Aaron's going to go over a little bit of avalanche strategy, or what you might look for. Of course, keep in mind that there's so many different conditions and elements out there, so these are only a few good tips and a few pieces of equipment you should have, but we want you to have a high awareness out there. So want to go over the transceiver a little bit?
Sure. There's 3 basic things that you're going to want to carry if you're going to be going through avalanche terrain. Number 1, and most importantly, is an avalanche transceiver. Secondly, you're going to want to have a probe pole to pinpoint the person inside the snow. And thirdly, a shovel.
This particular shovel here breaks apart very nicely, so it's very easy to carry in a pack. You have the head of the shovel, the blade of the shovel that comes off. You're able to adjust it very quickly with these push tabs here and an extendable handle. It'll allow you to be able to get out there and give you a little bit more stability here on the shaft of the shovel so that you can get down there and do some serious shoveling.
One thing to remember, it's great to have these tools and know how to use them. I would just like to stress that if you want to learn more, there's plenty of avalanche schools throughout the Pacific Northwest. And Northwest Avalanche Institute, for example, out of Crystal Mountain would be a good course to go take to learn how these tools work and to practice them as well.
And it's not only the tools that people need to learn about when in the avalanche conditions. There's certain elements that we can't get into all of the different techniques or skills or what you need to look for out in the snow, but there's weather conditions, there's warmth, there's a lot of snowfall today. What are a lot of the different elements someone might look for?
You look up at the slope, maybe there has already been a slide, and recent avalanches is one indicator that avalanche danger is really high at that point. You know, there's plenty of other things that you can think about. One is has it snowed a bunch in the last couple hours? And if there's been a lot of new snow, that's going to stress the snowpack a lot, not add any strength. Time equals strength, so the longer it's been since the snowfall, the stronger the snowpack is. But avalanche conditions are greatest after or during heavy snowfall, so those are things to be aware of.
There's bananas, there's oranges, you guys, pistachios, so help yourself. Anybody want an orange?
Spending time creekside for a lunch break is a great way to enjoy the surroundings and get a second wind for the afternoon hike.
Thank you. Right over here is Nason Ridge area.
The Wenatchee National Forest covers the east side of the Cascade Mountain Range. Considered the backbone of Washington State, this collection of mountain peaks create quite a picture postcard backdrop while getting a workout.
So where do you enjoy snowshoeing?
Mission Ridge area, rugged terrain, like what's up ahead of us.
Yeah?
That's pretty extreme though.
Yeah, a little extreme, but you definitely like to climb as opposed to going out in the meadows.
Yes.
Meadows are nice for families and people who don't
Everybody.
get out there too much.
This is fun too. In the spring and summer, you couldn't walk through here. There's too much undergrowth.
Yeah, there is. Oh, it looks like we're coming to a little stream.
Well, I'm not ready to go swimming.
I'm not either. I wonder if we can cross right down there.
It looks like we can.
We'll check it out anyhow.
Go Trailblazers.
Yeah, I've done a lot of snowing out on like logging roads and where you see a lot of snow parks where snowmobilers can go. I've even gone out where there's a lot of cross-country ski trails. The only thing you got to be careful of is not to mess up any groomed trails. There's definitely a number of places you can go around and snowshoe, and you want to make sure that when you go in the outdoors, you do bring a backpack with you full of some of the essentials that you might need in case you are to get stuck out in some weather conditions. With my backpack, I've got a Camelback, holds 70 ounces of water, really easy to hydrate myself while I'm out there. Extra clothing, food. I've got a headlamp in case it gets dark. What you want to keep in mind is you're going to be out in those elements. There's a chance that you could get trapped overnight. You want to make sure you have enough gear and enough clothing and protective first aid, whatever you need to get you through that night.
Here are some additional tips if you would like to enjoy the sport of snowshoeing. Try beginning your snowshoeing experience on flat open areas before heading into the backcountry. If you snowshoe with others, take turns breaking the trail to prevent one person from getting overly fatigued. Let the slowest person in your snowshoe party set the pace. Dress in several layers of clothing so you can add on or take off clothing to accommodate the weather and your level of physical activity. Wear synthetic underwear that moves moisture away from your skin and avoid wearing cotton garments. Tell friends, family, or park officials where you're going and when you plan to return. Snowshoeing can be strenuous. You will burn a lot of calories and lose a lot of water through perspiration. Carry a bottle of water that is insulated against freezing. Extra clothing and snacks are a plus. Don't forget sunscreen, polarized glasses, and a first aid kit in your pack.
Isn't it beautiful out? This is Dirty Face up in this area. Oh, it's shallow. Remember, this is an activity that you don't need lessons for. You can go down to your local store, rent some snowshoe gear, and head right out your back door if you have an ample amount of snow cover. So get out there and enjoy it.
It's early in the morning in the foothills of the Wenatchee National Forest. The heat of the campfire, the smell of the coffee in the air, and newfound friends learning a new skill are all part of a unique outdoor classroom. This is Women in the Wilderness, a class designed exclusively for women who want to learn more about surviving and taking care of themselves in the outdoors. For 3 days in the rugged alpine near Cle Elum, Washington, Camp Wahoo is host to rookies as well as veteran outdoors women, all having two things in common: a love for the outdoors and a desire to learn more.
My name's Sherry and this is Sandy. Hi. And we'll be taking you out on the ride today. You guys can help us saddle the horses, and then we'll assign horses. And one thing we like to use up in the mountains is wool blankets. And we get these at the Army Navy surplus store, and they're pretty cheap, and they can fold up into horse blankets. When I cinch up, at first I don't tighten it all the way, just to give them time to kind of warm up to it instead of cranking down on them. If you guys don't mind helping us saddle these guys up, that would be great.
When they step out of their cars in the parking lot, everybody's on the same ground. Nobody is any better than anybody else. You're all in it together. We form a lot of good relationships here, and we give the women a confidence that so many of them don't get at when they're either with their husbands or their significant others, simply because they don't get the hands-on. A lot of times it's this is how you do it, and they're never handed the horse to lead. They're never handed the horse to pack. They're never handed the rifle to shoot. And so this gives them an opportunity to get that and say, I can do that. I can lift that pack up there on that mule. I can shoot that gun. And this program makes these women strong. It makes them feel like I can do anything. I've learned that I can do anything.
Jan Osmanovich is one of the founders of Women in the Wilderness, as well as one of the instructors.
We offer Dutch oven cooking. We offer riflery and handgun and archery. We offer packing. We actually do hands-on everything. These women don't watch, they do. And we have survival. We have map and compass. We have wildflower identification, plant identification, and the importance of letting the plants and the atmosphere you're in remain once you leave. And so we try to incorporate each of these ideas into our programs and into the things that we offer for women.
The best way to do this is to hook all 3 fingers underneath, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw to your face. You're going to touch your face with your fingers. So you draw, touch your face, and then you just relax your fingers and the string just slides right off from your fingers. And as you're doing that, you're pointing at the target. You want to kind of line up the target with the side of the bow. Draw, anchor, aim, follow through. Get your bows and come to the shooting line, but before you shoot your first arrow, I want to watch. Each one of you shoot your first arrow, so make sure that you're lined up right, you've got your arrow on correctly, and you draw right. There you go, good.
Let her rip.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I hit the target.
I want this elbow up here, so it's easier to draw. Bring your fingers up just a little bit more. Okay, now pull and draw back to your face. Don't let go till you get to your face. Okay. Okay, now one thing here.
It's supposed to be on that side?
No, this has to be underneath. This is basically for recreation, just to get them, give them a little sample of what archery is all about. If they want to go into hunting, fine. If they just want to shoot targets or competition, fine. If they just want to shoot in their backyard, over in that's here. Fine too. Just enjoy themselves.
We are not here to, by any means, advocate hunting or to encourage you to go around and carry a gun. The thing that we're going to do today is we're going to shoot 3 guns. The first is a .22, the second is a .270, and the third is a .38 Colt handgun. And one of the things that goes along with owning a gun or having one in your possession is the responsibility that entails. And you have to be aware, number one, of your surroundings. And number two, you have to be aware of those around you, because even though you may be used to handling a gun, other people may not be used to being in the vicinity of a gun. Who wants to be first with the .22? Okay. Okay, snug it up real good, okay? And now I want you to kneel down and lean your... lean forward so that your arm is resting on the log. There you go. Just look through it once and see. Okay. See how the target lines up? Okay, now when you're ready, you take your time, be comfortable, and when you're ready, let me know and I'll put the earmuffs on you.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's just get... Okay, target on the left.
On the left. In this country, the cougar and the bear are becoming more and more plentiful. And they are, as they get used to people, they become more aggressive. And it's not because they have a mean streak or anything else. It's because we make it convenient for them to get food. Now pull it back on safety. And so if anything were to happen and you were to be, for some unknown reason be attacked or see one coming at you, at least you would be able to defend yourself. You need to be constantly aware of your surroundings. The class in survival is basically teaching the women how to build a fire, how to select a campsite, what kind of equipment you need to take with you when you're going in the hills, and what kind of a knife to carry. What kind of a hatchet do I need to chop wood? These sort of things are things that everyone would need to know. What do I do if I'm hurt? What do I do if I find someone else that's hurt? We try to teach them how to survive, what plants you can and can't eat, and how to watch out for the terrain you're in.
You don't want to accordion that up. If you're going to fold it, you want to fold it all the way up. Okay. Because you leave room for the stuff to squirt out into those folds when the ropes loosen up a little bit further down the trail. So you want them to be folded up tight if you can. Okay. Tight as you can. Tight as you can all the time.
So that's what we do. We teach them from the hoof up on the horse and from the ground down on the atmosphere. And lots of times we don't have good weather, but that's part of being in the outdoors. That's part of what you have to face when you make the decision that you want to go in the wilderness and you want to experience it. You have to be prepared for everything in any kind of weather. And that's what we try to instill in our women.
Hi, I want to talk to you a little bit about Leave No Trace. These are ethics that horse people or aspiring horse people need to consider when they are going into the high country or even on day rides when you have horses on high lines. One of the first things you want to do before you put your horses on a high line is to take and scrape all the duff back. And you want to do this so that your horse is standing on just the dirt. While the horses are standing there, if they make any manure piles, you're going to pick them up and you're going to scatter them at least 200 feet from a water source. Then when you're finished with your ride, you're going to take and you're going to scatter the duff right back where you got it. And by doing so, you are going to camouflage the area where the horses were standing. It takes a little more time, but it's worth it. Horse people are getting a really bad rap for leaving the backcountry in a mess. So as horse people, if we want to eliminate being taken out off or, forbidden to be even on the trails, we're going to have to take this extra time and camouflage. After you have the duff put back in place, you can turn around and you can look at it, and normally you can't even see where you've ever been. So you've accomplished your goal, and that is to leave no trace.
We want to bring back that portion of our heritage that the women before us brought with them to this country. We want to bring that back to the present day women and let them know that the men didn't settle the West alone, and the men didn't settle this country alone. They had their women with them, and they had to survive as well. So that heritage belongs to this country, and we want that heritage to be taken home with those women when they go back in their cars and head back to the city.
The reason I took this class was so that I would feel more comfortable and feel safer camping by myself, and it would give my friends and relatives a little more sense of security when I leave to go camping alone.
The reason I took the class is I've got 2 young children. I want to take them camping. I didn't feel comfortable taking them camping on my own, and now I do. I know where to go, how to get help, how to find my way around this country. So yeah, it's been really interesting, very good.
One of the favorites and probably the most important class in this school is Dutch oven cooking. You see, they're responsible for everybody's meals.
This is going to be a total hands-on experience for you guys. You're going to experience the life of a camp cook. You're going to love this. And so we'll have chicken enchiladas. We'll have a green salad. We'll do 4 16-inch Dutch ovens. So, all right, just jump on up there. Pretend like you've been on the trail for 8 hours. You've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're fresh and saucy. And you have to cook for 20 people.
There you go, there you go, there you go. She's got it. Hallelujah. We made an enchilada. Took us an hour, but we got it right. Blop, blop, chicken, chicken, cheese, cheese. Fold, fold, drop.
Come on, next.
Come on, come on.
Let's drop it now.
Oh, look. You see, got your cheese, cheese.
2 folders.
Well, I'm holding.
There we go. So how's it doing? It's cooking. Really it's cooking, but
It's dinner time, a chance to relax and reflect on the day's activities. And after dinner, a great way to end the day is having a little fun around the campfire. How about a quick lesson on animal calls?
Make this sound. I got it. And to gobble, you put the call in your mouth and you make a sound, and then you take your finger to go. Now, other sounds you can make with this.
Go online with Northwest Outdoors and learn more about episode 1303,